Oh, bhaja govindam, bhaja govindam, govindam bhaja mudhamate, samprapte sannihite kale, nahi nahi rakshati dukrankarane. O fooled ones, seek the Lord, seek the Lord. When the death approaches you, the mundane affairs will never come into your rescue. Oh, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, we were discussing how to attain self realization or how to attain God, how to attain, how to end this cycle of birth and death. Because some of the, what do you say, spiritual seekers are feeling that somewhere we should end the life, not in a pessimistic sense, rather because again you take a birth and you struggle, you work, you earn, achieve, and experience, which is with full of dualities, good, bad, happiness, sorrow, all these things, whether you want or not, it is bound to come and it is bound to go. So basically, it is like a web. So how can we get rid of it? How can we end this cycle, this chain of birth and death? When this thought came, when this thought lingered in the spiritual seeker's mind, then the Guru, the scriptures are saying that, yes, you can end this cycle or you can break this chain. What is the way out? Seek the Lord and experience it. Seek yourself. Who are you in reality and experience it. This is the way. This is the way to attain the immortality. We may think that by having lot of money, by becoming a millionaire or billionaire, one can be eternally living and everything can be attained or achieved. No, it is not possible. Or if I become a celebrity, can I become a immortal or can I be happy at all times? No. Okay, then if I become good looking and if I become very famous or if I achieve something, can I be happy at all times? No. So neither one can be eternal, nor one can be eternally happy. Then after struggling all these things, when a seeker's mind or any individual mind gets tired from this hustle and bustle of life, there will be inner craving, the inner cry. What is the way out to attain peace? What is the way out to attain eternal calmness? What is the way to experience the eternal happiness, eternal bliss? Then the scriptures say that seek the Lord, experience, seek the self, experience it. Now, this 24th verse or stanza is attributed to one monk called Yogananda. Tvayi mayi chanyo yat channetraiko Vishnuhu Vertam kupyasi maiha sahishnuhu Bhavasamachitta sarvatratvam vanchasyachara dedi Vishnutvam. Here Vishnutvam means it is actually equi-mind. Samatvam it is called actually. In you, in me, in all places, there is only one all-pervading reality. Being impatient, you are unnecessarily getting angry with me and with others. So if you want to attain soon the status of Vishnu, be equal-minded in all circumstances. So this is one of the eternal teaching given by the scriptures. What is that? There is one reality. Some may call Jesus, some may call Allah, some may call Jehovah, others may call Rama, or Krishna, or Shiva, or Brahman, or whatnot, or Shunya. So there's a one reality. People call it by different names. Now, hold on to that reality. hook to that reality, experience that reality, find out that reality. That is the only way out to attain the immortality. By none else, one can get immortality. Now, dualistic schools of Vedanta and the Semitic religions, they say that by going to heaven, one can attain immortality. But whereas the non-dualistic school of Vedanta, it says that by experiencing oneself, one can attain immortal. Going to any world, any above worlds, any world maybe, you cannot attain immortality. Now, this Vishnutvam is a very important word. Vishnutvam means it is a Jivan Mukti state. What is this Jivan Mukti state? For example, many of the religions, cultures, they say after the death, one can go to the above world. You can say Kailasa or Vaikunta or heaven or whatever. So after the death, one attains immortality or the liberation. Now, the Advaita Vedanta is a unique philosophy. It says that while living in this empirical body, physical body, one can get liberated. One can experience that eternal bliss and one can get liberated. That state is called Jivan Mukti. Liberated while living in the physical body. That is possible. And that Jivan Mukti state is expressed or is used to describe, they are using the word called Vishnutva. Now, the one more idea has been given or described, the Vishnutvam as Samatvam. If whoever has read Bhagavad Gita, you'll be able to understand. You know that Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. What is yoga? Yoga, it is Samatvam, equi-mindedness, equi-post. So that idea has been given. Now in the external world, there's a lot of change. In India, every one of you are feeling so much hot and heat, boiling with heat. But whereas in the Ireland, we are having cloudy, cloudy, cloudy. Summer has started officially, but from since 2-3 days, still it is just cloudy. Some are getting problem with the rain. Recently Dubai had a floods. Some are having a scorching sun. Some are having a continuous clouds. We desire for sun, and probably the people who are living in India, they don't want so much sun. So there are so much diversity in the weather, diversity in the food, diversity in the culture, diversity in the thinking, diversity in the people's nature. But there is a one common thread in all these things. There is a one commonality. What is that? That is what the self or consciousness. Whether a person is in a Rome or in a Italy or in a Ireland or in America or in India or in Germany or Dubai or any being, there is a commonality. That is what the consciousness. The moment when we start observing and experiencing it, we get the equanimity. We can attain the state of equanimity. Whereas the more and more you give your attention towards the gross matter or to the diversified universe, your mind gets distracted. Your mind gets disturbed. You cannot get peace eternally. Whatever you may try, whatever attitude you may develop, whatever things you may develop, you can't do it. You have to transcend this duality, because the truth is what? Non-duality. Advaita, not two, only one. So I as the self, once you understand this and experience it, then you will not be disturbed by any of these things. So basically, it is not insensitivity, rather you are transcending the nature. You are transcending all the dualities. So that is what? Practicing witness. This too shall pass. There's a beautiful story. Like once it so happened, Buddha was sitting under a tree and he was giving a sermon. Thousands of monk disciples, lay disciples, many are there sitting. Among them, there were kings, philosophers, bureaucrats, aristocrats. So many, the cream of the society was sitting there. With respect and love and reverence, they were hearing the sermon from the Buddha. So when While listening to the Buddha sermon, they were all feeling very happy, blessed. So the Buddha had finished the sermon. So some of them paid their respects and left. Some were about to get up, and some were just experiencing the happiness of the Buddha's presence and his teachings. Suddenly, from outside, one person enters with very angry and arrogance, and he comes and he starts scolding Buddha very with the best possible foul words. You are a cheater, you are a rogue, you are a hypocrite, and whatnot. So the disciples felt very bad, some of them. Some of them felt annoyed. Some of them were furious. If Buddha allows, probably they would have, beaten this fellow black and blue. But because out of respect towards Buddha, they were holding on themselves. Then this fellow, all of a sudden he came and he started scolding Buddha right and left. Buddha was just listening. Before, while giving sermon, how he was in a calm and composed mind. See, when he is hearing all these scoldings from an unknown person, still Buddha is undisturbed and just is listening with a calm and serene face. People are getting astonished. This fellow, for 5 or 10 minutes, he used all very bad language and he scolded Buddha. But even he continues and there is no reaction from Buddha. There is no change in the face of Buddha, because face is the index of mind. We all know that. This fellow started getting doubt whether Buddha is understanding his language or not. Then he questions, Buddha, do you understand what I am telling? Buddha nods his head. So do you understand my language? Buddha nods his head. Then he gets confused, this fellow, and he says, then how can I'm using such a foul language on you and you are no reaction from you. You are not getting disturbed and you are not scolding me. You are not reacting towards me. What happened? Why this? How is this? And this fellow gets confused and disturbed actually. This fellow is getting disturbed. Buddha was just again silent and with a calm mind, serene face he was there. So when this fellow stopped questioning and kept quiet, then the Buddha asked, my dear, for example, 5 euros I'm saying, because in Europe, or if you say from India, then it is 5 rupees, say. You got 5 rupees and you offered the 5 rupees to me. And I declined. I said, I don't need, or I declined. Then the 5 rupees will be with whom? The fellow said, obviously it is with me only. It will be with me only. The same case with your scoldings also. Abusive, about your abusive language or the words. You gave me, but I denied it. I didn't accept it. Now you please let me know then that it will be with whom now? So it will be with him only. So that, it was a tight slap on the face of the person. He felt very bad and ashamed, and he started feeling bad about himself because he scolded. If anyone would have been in the Buddha's place, they would have kicked him, they would have scolded him, they would have screamed, and he has got such a fan following. Probably he would have used and he would have beaten this fellow black and blue, but nothing happened. Slowly, the fellow who came to abuse Buddha, he started understanding his own mistake, his own ego, his own arrogance, and he started sinking down mentally. Finally, he fell at the feet of Buddhas, and with the tears, he prayed, please forgive me. Now I understand why the people respect you, why the people love you, why the people follow you. And please forgive my mistake, and please accept me as your disciple and instruct me what I should do. Buddha welcomed him. He forgave, and he welcomed, and he gave some instructions. Now you see, well, Buddha, when he was giving a sermon, he himself didn't get very much, thinking that, oh, I'm such a great person. So many people are there listening, including kings and bureaucrats, aristocrats, or whatever. And the fellow came and started scolding. He never reacted. His mind never get disturbed. And now the same person, when he apologized, he asked for sorry. Then also he said, oh, now you understand who is this Buddha. No ego, no change in reaction, no change in mental attitude. no change in approach. In all the while, with the same calm mind, Buddha was there. Why? He had experienced the truth. That's why no external person, no external situation, no external scoldings or praise or blame altered the situation or altered the emotions or the mindset of the Buddha. It doesn't mean that Buddha was insensitive. It doesn't mean that Buddha didn't understand, but he had transcended all these dualities. So that is called Vishnutvam. So this can be attained and achieved by every one of us. We can see in the life of Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi. This we can see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. This we can see in the life of Ramana Maharshi. This we can see in the life of Saint Francis of Assisi. This we can see in the life of Swami Vivekananda. All the great people, we can see this samatva. So once who attains that, he can experience the self. One who experienced the self, he attains it. Both are diversely proportional. So if you also want to attain, then don't get disturbed. Don't get perturbed with the small things. Accept. This too shall pass. Oh, so many problems, Swamiji, so many difficulties, so many challenges. Yes, accept. So many are there, fine, but understand that this too shall pass. The problems are there, might have come, it will go away. It will not stay eternally for no one. It may stay for a day. It may stay for a week. It may stay for a month. It may stay for a year or 2 or 3 years or 10 years even say, or 15 years, but afterwards it will change. So the moment when we understand any of our problem or difficulties, challenges, these will change. The moment when we understand and accept it, it gives a lot of solace, a lot of happiness for us. Peace. So it comes and it goes. It goes and it comes. Agama apaina anityaha. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. That is the first step. Second step is these are things are coming and going, whereas I am the self. All these things belongs to body and mind. So I need not to get disturbed. I need not to get perturbed. So that is the first is forbearing, titiksha. The second is transcending. So once you transcend that equanimity, equipoise nature, one can attain and one can once established, and no one can change. Until otherwise you allow someone to enter your mind. Until and otherwise you allow your mind to get disturbed, no one can disturb you. No person can disturb you. No situation can alter your emotions. No wordings of a person can disturb you. Because we allow them, that's why they get disturbed. Otherwise, it is not so. So, samatvam yoga uchyate. And also one more thing, very interestingly, the author is telling that, because if you see here, first 12 slokas has been ascribed to the author Shankaracharya. Afterwards, every 1 or 2 slokas has been given by different spiritual aspirants or monks who are there with Shankaracharya. So there is no schematic representation or the evolution of an idea. Everyone, whatever they are feeling, that what is self, what is God, how to attain it, they are telling. So there can be repetition of ideas also. So you may get agitated. You may feel that what is this? The idea is getting again and again in different way. They are repeating. You may get disturbed. So the author is telling that please don't get disturbed. Yes, there may be repetition, but know it for certain that you have not experienced the truth. You might have known intellectually, but you have not experienced the truth. So till experience, you should keep on hearing. You should keep on hammering from the Vedanta hammer. You should keep on hammer your mind so that you can experience it. So don't get unnecessarily disturbed. Don't get impatient also. Why? Because when you are staying in the realm of multiplicity, there can be doubts. There are doubts and explanations are necessary. Once you experience the oneness, once you experience the transcendental reality, then all doubt vanishes. Then you don't need anything else. And that is the beauty of our Sanatana Dharma, Vedanta. They tell that till when you should study Vedanta, Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita or any scripture, till you experience the truth. Once you experience the truth, you don't need. For example, you get a Google map. When do you need Google Map? When you, before knowing a particular direction to reach a particular person's house. If you are already aware of it, then you don't need Google Map. You can keep it aside. Similarly, scriptures are the guide, lighthouse for us to reach the ultimate reality. So to get clarity, to get conviction, one has to keep on thinking these ideas. And that's the reason teacher, in different ways, he repeats the truth time and again so that the seeker can get established in the truth, he can get convinced, he can practice it, he get convinced and he can put it to practice. That is what. Now, one more idea is also expressed in this sloka, in this verse, that because of the vasanas, our attachment to the world, we are getting disturbed. Vasanas means tendencies or samskaras. So you have to get rid of this vasana, samskaras. You have to get rid of this attachment to the world or desires. How to do that? By performing selfless action, karma yoga, or by practicing devotion to the Lord, that is love, divine love, bhakti yoga, serving the mankind, that is nishkama karma, karma yoga, then contemplation of the highest, that is Gnana Yoga, Shamana Manana Nidhyasana. Keep on hearing the truth and reflecting and contemplation. By doing that, one can purify the mind, one can remove the ignorance, and one can experience the reality. This is the way out to understand and experience the oneness. Now, fine, we understand we have to experience the oneness. So for that, samatvam, equanimity is required. And what are the ways and how these differences, variations, and diversities, or whatever the multiplicity, how it is manifested in the world, especially from the interpersonal relationship point of view, the author is trying to tell in the 25th stanza or verse. Shatro mitre putre bandhau makuryatnam vigrah sandhau sarvasminnapi pashyatmanam sarvasrosruja bedagnanam. Strive not, waste not your energy to fight against or to make friends with your enemy, friend, son, or relative. Seeking the self in everything and in everywhere, lift the sense of difference born out of ignorance. Oh, this fellow can be a friend, so I am trying to make him friend or her friend. Or someone I don't like him or her, so I want to avoid. Why? Because he or she can be a troublemaker, or he or she is an enemy for me. So we are always busy in making friends and avoiding enemies or unnecessary people. Yeah, sometimes may be required in the day-to-day affairs, no doubt, but don't get obsessed. Every time, don't be so much calculative and don't get obsessed with these calculations alone. That doesn't mean that with everyone you should be in the same way. The way you behave with your colleague, and you can't behave in the same way with your boss also. No doubt, everyone is Brahman, but we can't believe. So that diversity and differentiations will be there in the world. Never mind, accept it, but don't get too much carried over. Don't get obsessed with that. Rather, start seeing that unity in everyone, in everywhere. What is that unity? That is what Atman, or Brahman, or Chaitanya, or consciousness, or Sachidananda. Why? There's a beautiful example one can think. For example, there is a problem in my leg. There's a problem in leg, and even because of some reasons or whatever, one of the finger also has to be cut. Or there was some problem, some portion of the leg is creating really problem, and I have to limp for a long time. So because I'm limping, because of my own leg, the problem in my leg, do I hate my leg? No. Why? Because the leg is part of me or part of my body. So once it is part of me or part of my body, whatever there may be problem, I try to rectify, but I don't hate. But same thing with the other person, either with an husband, or a wife, or a son, daughter, son-in-law, mother-in-law, friend, colleague, neighbor, relative. What happens? If things are favorable with any person, then we love them. But if things are not favorable, we start hating them. Because why? We feel that he or she is different from me. So the author is trying to tell that's what. Because you feel that the leg is a part of your body or of you, so whatever problem is there, you are not hitting it. But because the moment when you think that, or when you feel that XYZ is different from you, that's where the attraction and aversion comes, attachment and hatred comes. So stop thinking I am different from you and you are different from him. Him is different from her or is different from this or that. So there is a one commonality. What is that? That is what Atman or Brahman or Chaitanya. Hold on to that more and more. Now, again, the word of caution is in this world, day-to-day life, there will be differences. You have to accept it. Accordingly, we have to go ahead, no doubt. But you should not get stopped there. You should not get obsessed with that only. That is what the idea he is telling. And there's a very beautiful story, actually. Once in the olden days, in a particular kingdom, king and queen was there, and they had a very huge kingdom. It was free from the enemies, and they had a good minister, then they had a very good army, and they had a good commerce. So basically, the whole kingdom was in a good condition. And every citizen, or most of the citizens, were happy from the kingship. And they used to respect the king. One fine day, there was a drama. In those days, the drama was arranged in the king's palace. So drama party had come. That day evening, they were supposed to do that. Just 2 or 3 hours before, the head of the drama party approaches the minister. And he says, sir, we are all set for the drama, but there is a problem. Minister asks, okay, fine. What is the problem? Sir, the child of 8 or 9 years child, which was supposed to, enact. She's not well. She has got a diarrhea, dysentery very badly. She's unable to even to get up, and whatever the problem is there, because of the problem, she's unable to enact. Since because of that, we are not able to perform drama. What should we do? Then the minister thinks and he says, okay, what is the role of that particular part? Then the drama head, he explains, and he says, what should be the age? Around 8 or 9 years. Then immediately remembers the prince. Oh, prince, our prince is of that same age. Then the minister approaches the king and queen and he explains. The king and queen gives their consent and prince has been called. So and they explain the entire problem and they request the prince, can you enact on behalf of her? The prince agrees. And luckily he was very good and he was smart enough. And the drama party in charge, the master of the drama party, he explains the role he is supposed to do and what are the dialogues, and probably they will help from the behind, etc. So everything was arranged, and he was, though he's a boy, prince, but he was made as a princess because of that particular role. And he was well decorated with a good costume and all. He was looking, and he was a well built, and he was a handsome 9 or 10 years boy. He was looking very handsome, no doubt. And with the costume and all, that physical beauty has enhanced. Even the prince and king and queen were also very happy to see their son as a princess, and they were felt very happy about the beauty. And the prince also enacted in a wonderful way. The drama went on very well. The officers, ministers, king and queen, everyone enjoyed, everyone clapped. So the king and queen were enchanted by the beauty of the prince. So they called the artist, royal artist, and he said, look, before removing the costume of my son, please see that in the lady dress or in the girl dress. So see that properly and make a painting of her probably as a in the young age, or in the adolescent, or as a youth, how he will look in this girl costume. The royal artist said yes, and the artist requests the prince to sit with the costume, and he sits. The artist looks and beautifully he portraits, he imagines and he portraits as if the prince becomes princess in the age of 18, 20 or 25, how he can look in the how she can look. So he imagined and he made a beautiful painting. The king and queen felt very happy by seeing the painting, and the royal artist also was well paid for that. Now, this prince was just 8 or 9 years, and slowly afterwards he forgot. I mean, he couldn't register anything in this memory. He forgot. Then more than decade is over. Now he is around 20, 21 years. One day, for some reason, he goes to the basement in the palace, which was a what do you say, a storeroom. He goes, and while doing something, he saw a beautiful painting which was dusted, which was with full of dust, and he cleans it and he sees there's a beautiful portrait of a princess, and below it was written, she is the princess of the Kashi. He saw her, he saw the view, he saw the painting, and somehow he got attracted to her, and he thought that, okay, so many years before it was done, and that probably now she's of my age, I would like to marry her. And he fell in love with that girl or with the princess. Fine. Because now that love has started inside, as a reaction, there is a change in his behavior. So the father and mother, king and queen, started understanding that there is some change in their son. They try to pursue and they try to question him. They try to inquire what is the reason. But because of respect and because of the shyness or whatever reason, he didn't. He didn't tell. The king calls minister and said, "Look, minister, you are very close to our prince. Somehow we have felt that there is some change, peculiar change in his character and his behavior. Please find out." We tried to know, we couldn't find. Please, can you try to find out what is the problem or what is the thing which is haunting his mind? Minister said, "Yes, sir, please give me some time." One fine day, both, because we're good friends, and they went out for walking and in the palace grounds, and they were walking. And in the midst of the conversation, minister, using his smartness, he said, "My dear prince, we think that there is some change in your behavior. There is some change in your attitude. If you don't mind, and if you really have a faith in me, may I ask you, what is the reason for this change?" Initially, the prince avoided the question, but minister was good enough. He was smart enough to uh, question him. Then finally, prince said, "Okay, dear minister, because we are good friends and I've got a lot of faith in you, so I don't mind to let the inside feelings to you." Then prince says that, "Look, I have fell in love with a princess. I would like to marry her only." Then the minister says, "Oh, that's beautiful. Your father and we were discussing, and we were thinking like we can bring the portraits and the details of the neighboring, the princess of the neighboring states, and we shall show you, and we will probably whomever you like, and we will have a marriage proposal, we thought. And now you have reduced our work, and that's fine. Please let me know. I will talk to your father, that is king." Then he said, "I have fallen in love with the princess of Kashi." Minister took aback because he knows that there is no princess in the Kashi. There's only prince. There is no princess even. The minister said, "Fine." Because he didn't want to say immediately. He didn't want to discourage him also, because minister is smart enough. And he said, "Okay, dear prince, I am very happy that you would like to marry the princess of the Kashi. Never mind. Where did you meet? When did you meet?" The prince said, "Oh, sorry, minister, I didn't meet her." "Fine, you didn't meet her. Then have you seen her portrait, or how do you know about her?" He said, "Oh, I have seen her portrait." "Okay, that's beautiful. Where did you see?" "Oh, I saw in our basement, that is a storeroom." Then minister understood. Okay, now I understand what is the problem. Then the minister starts explaining the whole story, episode of the drama, whatever happened between 10 or 12 years or 15 years before. So the drama, etc., all things explained, and he says that, "My dear prince, there is no princess of Kashi at all. Actually, when during your childhood days, and you enacted the Princess of Kashi role, and your parents were so happy and they got attracted by your the lady costume, girl costume. So they asked the royal artist to paint if any young girl, if my son becomes a young girl, how he looks like that. So they asked, that is the reason they made all these things. Or the paint, I mean, the royal artist painted actually, but otherwise there is no Princess of Kashi. And the Princess of Kashi, whomever you fell in love, that is you only, my dear prince. When Prince he heard that, he got astonished and he started thinking, oh, I felt in love with myself. And this is a story often quoted in Vedanta. Because he felt that he's different from, I mean, he is different from the princess or the picture who was in the paint. That's why he fell in love. Now, the moment when he came to know that the paint of the princess is nothing but his own image, then whom to love and whom to hate? Because this love and hate is happening because we are thinking that I am different from you, you are different from him is different from her, XYZ and all. That's where this problem is. The moment when you understand that there is no differences, there are no too many people, there are no 100 people, etc. There's only one, but there are only many different reflecting mediums. Then attraction and aversion, attachment and hatred, all these things will cease to exist. So this is the ultimate reality. One should understand, one should accept, one should put into practice. That is what the idea, that is what the important idea is conveyed by this verse. So when the whole universe, when the whole, every object, every person, everything is nothing but the manifestation of the divinity, manifestation of the Sachidananda, I, you, everything is that Sachidananda alone, then where to get attracted and whom to attract and whom from whom to hate. This is what, the moment you understand and experience, the samatvam is automatically attained and it can be experienced. Then what happens? By this, no wastage of time, no wastage of energy, no wastage of emotions, no controlling and all these things. So there's a beautiful universal rhythm. We should understand, we should prepare our mind, we should get tuned to that, and we can experience the bliss, we can experience the joy. See the self everywhere and rise above the sense of difference born out of stupidity. That is what the author is trying to tell. Tatona vijugupsate. Then no revulsion, no repulsion. Even that's what even Kathopanishad says. Someone is Shatru, someone is Mitra, someone is Bandhu, someone is, what do you say, neutral person. All these things are just, it is in day-to-day things are happening, but it is actually mirage or it is only misunderstanding. The moment when you understand, you will be able to embrace everyone. That is what our Upanishadic idea, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world has one family. So when the whole world is one family, then whom to love and whom to hate. Now, all these things are fine. We can understand Swamiji. Many times, Swamiji, when we are hearing your lecture on Vedanta and especially on these things, we get convinced. We feel right. We would like to put into practice. We think that. That's all fine. But after some time, this knowledge gets evaporated and we are not able to practice. We get disturbed, we get distracted and whatnot. Why is this happening? And how can we avoid this? How can we achieve the truth which has been described by scripture and which we are hearing through you? So this is a question quite a few spiritual aspirants or devotees have asked. For that, the reason, the analysis is given in the 26th verse. What is that? Kamam krodam, lobam moham, tektvatmanam pashyati soham, atmagnana vihina moda, te pachanti naraka niguda. Leaving desire, anger, greed, delusion, the seeker seeks the self. If I am he, they are the fools, those who have no self-knowledge, and they consequently, as captive in hell, are tortured. Kama, desire. So we have got different type of desires. So our mind is colored with different types of desires. That's why it is unable to reflect the consciousness. For example, here is a glass, and I'm able to see what is there outside because the glass is clean. Say if the glass is covered with the dust, or we can take a mirror even for an example. There's a beautiful mirror in our house, in my room, and I'm able to see, and I'm able to put, do makeup. I can put my snow, and I can comb my hair, and I can see many things. Say for some time I was not there, and the mirror has been covered with the dust. Then after a few days, I come back and I see my face is not clearly reflecting. Why? Because the mirror is covered with the dust. I left it uncleaned. In few more days, some more dust got accumulated. Now the mirror is full of dust. My reflection is not at all reflected there. That does it mean that I'm not there? I am there. Then only my reflection is not reflected. Why? Because of the dirt. Then what to do? By crying, can you do something? No. Then what to do? Just by clear the dust of the mirror, then automatically the reflection is seen. So similarly, the mind is like a mirror. It has been, covered with lot of dust, types of dust even. Common types of worldly desires. That is a type of dust has been accumulated. Krodham, anger, hatred, aversion, anger. This is a one more type of dirt which has been accumulated on my mirror, mind. Lobha, greediness. First, I wanted a job. I wanted a basic necessities to be taken care. Now that is over. I want more money. I want a bigger vehicle. I want this. I'm not saying that you should not strive for, but greediness. Whatever is required, more than that, if you seek, that's why that is called greediness. Then moha, delusion. Whatever is right, we are thinking it as a wrong, and whatever is wrong, we are thinking it as a right. The self alone is real, but we think that maybe may not be. But the world is, it is a projection, but we are taking the world as a real. So whatever is real, we are thinking as an unreal. Whatever is unreal, we are thinking real. Why? Because of the delusion. Someone was asking, they were asking me, Swamiji, you mix with everyone. You talk with everyone. And once the call comes for you, say for an example, I was in Mysore earlier for 11 years. And when there was a call from our headquarters, can you go to Ireland? I said, yes. And I left there. So many devotees asked, are you not feeling any morose, Swamiji? No. Are you not feeling sad? No. Are you not feeling bad that you are leaving us? No. But we are feeling maybe sorry for that. Why? But you spend so much time with us. We all work together, and you have taught us so many things. Obviously, when relationship has been developed, then why are you not feeling and we are feeling? What is the difference? How? Why? I said, I love people. I don't get attached to people or to things. So love and prema, that is love, and moha, there's two different things. If you love a person, you don't get attached. If you have got a moha, that visit what delusion, you get attached and you get suffering. Duryodhana, son, no doubt, Dhritarashtra loved him, fine, but not only that, he was attached. As a result, he allowed him to do all the, unethical things. That should not. So the prema and moha, there are two different things. We should love our children. We should not get attached to our children. I can love XYZ, but I should not get attached to that. That attachment comes from whom? From where? It comes from our delusion. There's a fine difference between love and attachment, that is attachment or moha. So delusion. Delusion makes right wrong and wrong right. Real as unreal and unreal as real. So that's a one more dot. So what should we do? Tektva. We should abandon all these things. Just like we clean the dust of the mirror, we should clean all this dirt from our mind mirror. Then one is tektva, vairagya, here giving up, abandoning. What we should do? Atmanam pashyati. And we should start seeing, we should start feeling, we should start experiencing the self. Initially, it will be a pseudo feeling. Initially, it will be superimposition that I am Atman, I am Atman. Initially, it will be there, but it is like dehypnotizing. Slowly, slowly, we'll be able to experience that. Soham, I am that, I am that, I am that, I am that Atman. So, thinking time and again, I am that Atman, slowly you will be decoloring your mind. You will be cleaning your mirror mind. Atmajnana vihina moodaha. who is devoid of this Atmagnana, they are number one fools, best among the fools. Te pachyante narakani gudaha. They get tormented. They get captivated in the hell and they are tortured. Hell means need not to be Yamaloka or whatever. Basically, they undergo a lot of suffering. They have to undergo a lot of dual experiences time and again. Now you see here, terms and conditions apply. When you put an insurance or when you sign up anything, we don't read actually. There is a terms and conditions apply. We don't read it. That will be in small fonts and sometimes it goes to few pages. So similarly for spiritual life, terms and conditions apply. We have to have a disciplined life. We have to get rid of all these dirts and we should seek the self or God and we should experience. All these things, terms and conditions apply. By doing all these things, one can live peacefully. One can experience the happiness. One can experience the immortality. For that, you have to work. You have to labor. So what is all our sadhana? All our sadhana is what? Cleaning the mind. Or we are making ourselves fit to receive the divine grace. The Lord's grace is ever flowing. Only we have to make ourselves fit to receive that. We are already Atman. There is nothing to achieve new thing. We are already, but we have forgotten or it has been covered. The standard example can be given. Suddenly, sometimes it all happens. Maybe, two-wheelers key or four-wheelers key or our the main door of our house key, we have kept in our pocket. And we forget and we start searching. And we start searching here and there and we don't find and we ask or we call our friend and said, oh, I came in your house, did I leave my key? Please check out. And he or she will see on the table or on the room where you went or in the bathroom where you go all, they will say, no. And you may search in the road, you may call XYZ and find out and you may get panic, you may get tensed. Because of that, you may scold someone in the family members, some family members. After all, the suddenly, by mistake or perchance, your hand touches your pocket, side pocket, and you'll feel something obstruction. Then you go, then you put your hand into your pocket. Then you will see there is a key with you only. So whatever the experience, whatever the emotional turbulence was happening because you have lost the key, when you were thinking the key was not there in your pocket. Yes, it was there. Now is it there? Yes, it is there. So before and in between and afterwards, now at present, all the three times the key was there in your pocket only, but you are not aware. So similarly, I am the Brahman. I'm not going to become something new. The Brahman I'm not going to attain. It is already existing, but only there is an ignorance, a layer of ignorance is covering, and I am unable to understand. I am unable to experience. So there is ignorance. To remove the ignorance, we need a knowledge, and that's the reason you have to keep on hearing this. Keep on hearing scriptures, keep on hearing sermons, and think rightly and remove the ignorance, remove the wrong ideas, wrong notions, so that we can put ourselves into a straight path, in a right path, and we can attain it. So all our sadhana is what? Removing the dirt or removing the wrong notion, superimposition, we can say. So I am that Brahman. When I say I and Brahman are not two different things. There's only one thing. I is Brahman and Brahman is I. That also you should not get confused. So just like I got the key, already is there in me, but I have to experience it. For that, there's a lot of dust is covering in my mind, mirror called mind. So you have to clean it. For that, you can take a path of selfless action, path of psychic control, or path of knowledge, path of devotion, one or two or all of this. One has to clean your mind. One has to become fit ourselves to experience the reality, to experience the God. Otherwise, what? Muda Shiromani, you are best among the fools. Muda Shiromani. Aha, he is the Shikamani, they will say. He is like in India, basically in vernacular, he is like a Brospati, they will say. What does it mean? He is best among the fools. So he's a Muda Shiromani. And if he has not got Atmagnana, then one cannot get perfection. One will not attain the immortality. One cannot get the everlasting, eternal, everlasting bliss. The money, name, and fame can bring happiness for some point of time, for some amount of time, not at all times. So if you want everlasting, eternal bliss, the only way is experience the Lord or experience the self. That is the only thing. There is no other way. So that's what the scripture is trying to tell. Bhajagovindam or Moha Mudgara. So we shall seek the Lord, we shall experience the Lord, we shall experience the self, so that we shall all experience that eternal, everlasting bliss. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.